What family tradition did you realize was actually illegal? My father forced me to fight other boys every week to prove my worth. Real fights with blood and broken bones and consequences that lasted for days. It started the week after my 8th birthday when Dad sat me down at the kitchen table and explained what it meant to be a Blackwood man. We don't raise soft children in this family, he said, his scarred knuckles drumming against the wood. Every generation has been tested, proven worthy through combat. Your grandfather did it. I did it. Now it's your turn. He slid a notebook across the table, pages filled with names and dates and outcomes recorded in his cramped handwriting. This is our family record going back 80 years. Every Blackwood son has fought to earn his place. You'll fight every Saturday until you've proven yourself. I was 8 years old and had no idea what proving myself meant. The rules were simple and brutal. Every Saturday, Dad would find another boy around my age and weight class. We'd meet in our garage with the door closed and windows covered. No padding, no mouth guards, no protective equipment. Just two kids and the understanding that the fight ended when someone couldn't continue or tapped out. Dad recorded everything in his notebook. Date, opponent's name, duration, outcome, injuries. He treated it like a science experiment, analyzing my technique and pointing out weaknesses. My mother never came into the garage during fights. She'd stay in the house with the TV volume turned up loud enough to drown out the sounds. My younger sister Autumn wasn't allowed anywhere near the garage on Saturdays. This was between father and son, a tradition that women couldn't understand or participate in. My first fight was against a boy named Colin, whose dad worked with mine at the construction company. Colin was bigger than me by at least 20 pounds, and I learned later Dad had specifically chosen him to teach me that size didn't guarantee victory if you fought smart and mean. I got destroyed that first fight. Colin hit me so hard I saw stars. My lips split open and blood ran down my chin. I tried to fight back, throwing wild punches that mostly hit air. Dad watched from the corner, not intervening, not stopping it even when I started crying. The fight lasted maybe 3 minutes before I collapsed, too hurt and exhausted to continue. Colin's dad pulled him back, and my father wrote the outcome in his notebook. Loss by exhaustion. Afterward, Dad cleaned my wounds in the garage sink and explained where I'd gone wrong. You telegraphed every punch. You fought angry instead of smart. You gave up instead of pushing through pain. Next week will be better. I nodded because what else could I do? This was my family's way. This was how Blackwood men were made. The second fight was against a kid named Damien, whose father was one of Dad's old army buddies. Damien had done this before. I could tell from the way he moved, calculated and controlled. He didn't waste energy on wild swings. Every hit landed exactly where he intended. I lost again, this time with a black eye and sprained wrist. Dad recorded it. Lost by technical skill deficit. He wasn't disappointed, just analytical. You're learning. Every loss teaches you something wins can't. The pattern continued for months. Every Saturday, a new opponent. Sometimes I knew the other boy from school or the neighborhood. More often, they were strangers. Sons of men in Dad's network, who all shared the same twisted tradition. I started winning occasionally by the time I turned 9. The first victory felt amazing. This rush of pride when Dad wrote my name in the winner column. I'd beaten a boy named Lucas who'd underestimated me, and standing over him while he caught his breath made me feel powerful in a way nothing else had. Dad's approval afterward was intoxicating. That's my son. That's a Blackwood. By age 10, I was winning more than I was losing. My body had adapted to the weekly violence. I'd learned to take hits without flinching, to ignore pain until the fight was over, to read opponents and exploit their weaknesses. Dad said I was a natural, that the fighting spirit ran strong in my blood. He started entering me against older boys, tougher opponents who'd been doing this longer. The stakes increased. Injuries became more severe. I broke my nose twice before I turned 11, fractured my hand punching someone's skull, collected scars on my knuckles and face I'd carry for life. But I also collected wins. Each victory recorded in Dad's notebook. Proof I was worthy of the Blackwood name. School became difficult for different reasons. I'd show up Monday morning with fresh bruises and split lips, and teachers would ask questions. I'd lie, say I fell off my bike or got in a scuffle at the park. The school nurse started recognizing a pattern, but I'd learned from Dad exactly what to say to deflect suspicion. My parents are great. I'm just clumsy. I play rough with friends. The other boys in Dad's fighting network had the same cover stories. We'd see each other at school sometimes, exchange knowing looks, but never speak about Saturdays. It was an unspoken rule. What happened in our garages stayed private. This was family business, tradition, not something outsiders would understand. I made one real friend during those years, a kid named Quinn who moved to our neighborhood when I was 11. Quinn was small and quiet, the kind of kid who got picked on by bullies. I started defending him at school, using the fighting skills Dad had beaten into me for something that felt good and right. Quinn was grateful, stuck to me like a shadow, and eventually I told him about the Saturday fights. His eyes went wide. That's insane. Your dad makes you fight for real? I shrugged. It's just what Blackwood men do. It's tradition. Quinn looked at me like I'd grown a second head. That's not tradition. That's abuse. The word hit me wrong. That's when I made the biggest mistake of my life. Full story is linked below or on my channel.